Alright, this is kind of a sad video. I found this in a garbage bin in the late 1980s. And it sat in the garbage bin for maybe 2 days or so. And it was all wet. Took me a while to dry it out and clean it. Once I did, it worked for a long time. It worked for many years. And it's a reel-to-reel tape machine. I think it says over there, servo-controlled. There we go, servo-controlled TC-860. TC-860. And these are the jacks that are on the side. Hopefully you can see that. Switch here for the thing. There's the volume control and the tone control, and the sound quality was fabulous, in spite of the physical damage to this unit. There were no electrical damage until recently. These appear to be the this appears to be the switch on and off switch. The cover over here came off not too long ago. I couldn't find it. This microphone I found separately, but it works well with this machine. At least it did until something happened to the machine recently. I'll tell you that later on in a few minutes. So this knob here went missing maybe 5 years after I was playing with it, trying to get it working. And when it did work, I couldn't find the key over here. It just went, I don't know where it went. But it did work. I used it for many years to record a number of things. And so the plug outlet for this is inside the plug outlet. That's why I put it inside. Now before I show you the inside, this is what it says here. Alright, finally I found the plug that was inside here. So this is the kind of plug for this unit. And I found it with this unit. Okay. And of course it plugs in on the side here. This is what the kind of plug it takes. Now recently I dug the machine out again and wanted to play it. So, and then accidentally, this plug got mixed up with another plug. And the other plug did not have 4 prongs, where 2 of them, is for the AC, and the other 2 is for something else which this plug doesn't have, because this one only has the AC part of it, but this one stays there. So that sort of confused me, and I plugged in a different plug instead. And the different plug, unknowingly, went into the 12-volt portion. And then, of course, I plugged the other end into the AC socket, which our AC here is 119 volts. So 119 volts AC plugged into the 12-volt slot. So the light, there's a lamp over here. It lit up incredibly bright, and the motor began whirling very, very fast. And for about 2 seconds I was wondering what's going on. And suddenly there was some kind of flash or bang, I don't know what. And then it stopped working, and then I realized I had plugged the wrong plug in. I dug some more into the box and I found the right plug, but by then it was too late. Now I plug it in, it doesn't work anymore. So quite sad, eh? So obviously I said, well, obviously the fuse inside must have blown. But this is quite strange. When I opened the entire unit, this tape is not too good anyway, so I can remove it like that. And I had, this is a speed control, by the way. Speed here. This is cover here. I pre-removed it because for this video, because I had already opened it. So this paper I added to see the wheels better. This is supposed to come off easily because I removed it, so I'll just stop the video and remove it. So I did not know that. Now I thought maybe the fuse had blown, like I said a second ago. Here's the counter, by the way. There's a speaker, you know. All that's okay. Here you have to push it properly, otherwise it doesn't go down. So I thought the fuse had blown, so I said, well, I'm just going to open it, replace the fuse, and not make the same mistake again. But it turns out this is what I saw. And I'm going to open it up now. This is what I saw when I opened it to replace the fuse. So here's where the fuse is. I couldn't believe what I saw when I saw that. The camera is not focusing. Turns out that somebody had bypassed the fuse and put a wire out of it, a cord, you know, put a piece of metal there. I don't know why it doesn't want to focus on that. You know, it's a very simple piece of metal there. So I don't know what the big deal is about videotaping this. There we go. It's finally focused. So somebody wired this across there. There's no way that I would have done that. You know, when I had opened it in the late 1980s, I neglected to, I just simply didn't see that. Otherwise I would have removed this and put a proper fuse. So all this time it's been working with no fuse. Until one day, a few months ago, I plugged in the wrong AC outlet and it caused a problem. So obviously something electronically in here is damaged by the 119 volt AC that went into the DC part. It's too bad, eh? Now this was all the damage when I found it. Yeah, when I found it, it was already cut. Circuit board was already cut in a piece there, and I had wired it, you know, from here and soldered it carefully. Here. So everything was matching up, and this black wire actually goes. This black wire, which got loose, actually goes here. Now, even when the wire is there, it still won't work because, like I mentioned, something was damaged when I plugged in the wrong cord. So that's too bad. Obviously, I don't have the electric know-how to do anything about this, to repair it. So I don't know what to do with it. But this is how it looks there on the battery portion. It's all rusted and corroded. So some of this damage was done, you know, by the original owner. The battery stayed in, and they obviously leaked, and so that's where that comes from. The speaker wire came off there, I see. So it no longer plays, no longer lights up the light here, and no longer records either. The speaker no longer gives any sound, so the amplifier was damaged by the wrong plug that I put in. The voltage that went in that was too high, that it damaged the play, record, amplifier portion, I suppose. But interestingly enough, it still rewinds and plays. And obviously that's a separate circuit. So I'll make it rewind and play now. Now here's the sticker for the battery instructions. It fell out. So fast forward and rewind still works, not play. So I wired it like that. It doesn't work with this plug anymore. But it does work like this. This is 9 volt, just a temporary thing I did just to get it working. Previously, it has worked at 9 volts before and played well as this plug. But now it only it only works this way, and it only works for rewind and fast forward. So when I say the word play, I mean like rewind and fast forward. This is fast forward, of course. As you can see, this is a very old belt, but it's still, is strong enough. Mostly, I think. There's a mechanical problem that happened with this when there was a flood where I worked. And sometimes, there we go, there's the rewind. It's a very old style this little screw here is the adjustment for the light that's over here that usually is supposed to be working. The speaker wire came off, but even when it was on, it wasn't working at all, so absolutely no sound anymore. There we go, it's fast forwarding. Now it's rewinding. It's because this plate has not been put back properly, and the whole thing hasn't been screwed in, that it doesn't rewind and fast forward properly. But it's kind of sad. But anyways, it teaches me a lesson to pay more attention to the the plugs and everything else before plugging something in. Ordinarily, a plug would not fit an outlet if it's the wrong one. And this is the first time I come across anything like this. The plug that I had plugged into that was a smaller plug, smaller than the one I showed a while ago. It was a 2-prong plug. The tips were round. They were round at the end here. It fit in there, but it wasn't, it was kind of tight on both sides. It could go up and down, but obviously completely wrong. So, what do I do now? I don't know what to do with this. So, just, of course I don't want to throw it out. I could use it for spare parts or something like that. But if anybody has a restoration project, I don't know if it's worth it. It's just too bad.